Matthew chapter 26, verse 1 to 30. And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, You know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him. But they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much, and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman hath done be told for a memorial of her. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The Master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it, and brake it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks, and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine, until that day, when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Matthew chapter 26 marks the beginning of the events leading directly to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Having completed his public teaching, Jesus tells his disciples that within 2 days he will be betrayed and crucified during the Passover. While the religious leaders secretly plot his death, Jesus is fully aware of everything that is about to happen. His death is not a tragedy beyond his control, but the fulfillment of God's eternal plan of redemption. As the chief priests and elders gather in the palace of Caiaphas to conspire against Jesus, Matthew contrasts their hatred with the devotion of a woman in Bethany. She pours a very costly ointment upon Jesus, an act that the disciples mistakenly view as wasteful. Jesus defends her, explaining that she has unknowingly prepared his body for burial. Her love and faith recognize the value of Christ above earthly possessions, and Jesus promises that her act will be remembered wherever this gospel is preached. Immediately afterward, Judas Iscariot agrees to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, fulfilling prophecy and revealing the depth of his unbelief. Though he had walked with Jesus and witnessed his miracles, Judas chose personal gain over the Messiah. His betrayal reminds us that outward association with Christ is not the same as genuine faith. Jesus then celebrates the Passover with his disciples. During the meal, he announces that one of the 12 will betray him, causing great sorrow among them. Each disciple examines himself and asks, Lord, is it I? Judas also asks the question, but his heart has already been set on betrayal. During the Passover meal, Jesus institutes what is commonly called the Lord's Supper. Taking the bread, he identifies it with his body, and taking the cup, he speaks of his blood of the New Testament, which would soon be shed for many for the remission of sins. The Passover, which had pointed to God's deliverance of Israel from Egypt, now points forward to the sacrificial death of the true Passover lamb, who would give his life for sinners. Jesus concludes by declaring that he will not drink of the fruit of the vine again until he drinks it new with his disciples in his Father's kingdom. Even as the cross approaches, his eyes remain fixed on the coming kingdom and the joy that lies beyond his suffering. The chapter closes with Jesus and his disciples singing a hymn before leaving for the Mount of Olives. In the face of betrayal, suffering, and death, Jesus remains completely obedient to the Father's will. Every event unfolds exactly as God had planned, demonstrating that Christ willingly gave himself so that redemption might be accomplished. This passage benefits from a rightly divided understanding because Jesus identifies the cup as my blood of the New Testament. The New Testament was promised to the house of Israel and the house of Judah, and will be fully realized with Israel according to God's covenant promises. However, the saving value of Christ's shed blood is also the foundation of the gospel of grace later revealed through the Apostle Paul. Today, members of the body of Christ are justified by grace through faith in the finished work of Christ, whose death, burial, and resurrection provide the only basis for salvation. Rightly dividing this passage preserves both the covenant context of Jesus' words and the universal sufficiency of his atoning sacrifice proclaimed in Paul's gospel. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more KJV Bible teaching. Until next time, search the Scriptures. Grace be with you.